Hello everyone, I hope that you are doing fine. Today I'm here with another pertinent and important topic, which again is about feelings and emotions. I have already talked about importance and functions of emotions and our feelings a couple of times, but this time I'm here to give you some tips about how to express our emotions or how to gradually develop this skill of expressing our emotions, right? So this time I try to be a little more pragmatic and give you some concrete tips actually. So the first thing is about to being a little more awareness. So it's about having some higher level of awareness on some sorts of expanded awareness about the importance of emotions, because I feel that, or my impression is that many of us have not understood well what it means to be aware of emotions and how important they and their functions are. Because I have heard that many of my clients say that, okay, we know that it's important to express emotions because you or my previous therapist or my doctors have told me that it's important to express and to tell about my emotions too, but okay, so let's give it a try. So I assume that we have two types of understanding. One is like shallow surface-based understanding, and another one is in-depth understanding, deep kind of understanding about phenomena, about things. So if we get a little more and deeper understanding of how important emotions are and why they come up in our body, then it will be much easier for us to use a more nuanced and a much better, more real approach to deal with these emotions, because our minds works or functions based on a circle-like modus of activities. It's like feelings, thoughts and evaluations, and then decisions makings and choosing that goes on in a like circle process, and then products of these processes. One of these products is emotions. So emotions contains a lot of data and informations, and also based on previous experiences of being in some relationships on certain social situations, our body or our brain have had produced some emotions, and these emotions and all the meanings inside them have been registered in our body, and body therefore has an internal implicit system of memory, implicit memory. And that's why when you are in certain social settings, then certain situations that you experience, that your body, before you are consciously aware of why these emotions are there, your body is activated and telling you something that you get a very pleasant or glad state of mind, or vice versa. So that's why it's very important, because our mind is constantly producing emotions, and if these emotions last enough in our body, then they come up gradually to the surface and they come into our conscious mind. And this is data, this is research data findings from neuroscience, and that's very important. And that's why we have to understand the messages that is inside these emotions that come up in our body, right? Because this is the way our body wants to communicate with us. This is about body language, right? So these emotions, as I told you before, they produce in brain, and then they sit in our body. So our body is an important source for these emotions, and this is about the point number 2. So point number 2 is about listening to your body. So this is a skill, and this is a practice that I usually use in psychotherapy to help my clients to track and to navigate and to understand and to feel their physical sensations that sit in their body. Many people find it very challenging, very difficult, because they get immediately very judgmental, or they want to force an immediate action to change that sensations, and that's not good, because it makes up inner war in your body, because these feelings comes up to the surface, to the conscious, and they sit in your body, and your mission, your assignment is just to describe them, is just to observe them, is to embrace them. And if we want to put, add another element which is based on judgment or extra interpretation, give them some value that's unpleasant or dangerous or whatever, then we have caused an inner war with our body. Then we have gone against our nature, right? So that's very important, just to observe and to embrace and to hold these sensations. So if you get anxious, when you get some emotions, it's a sign that you cannot tolerate and you cannot hold these emotions, right? So that's a very important data that you have to take seriously. And then, for example, in a clinical setting, I can ask my clients to, okay, can you please close your eyes, or just use a moment to just concentrate in your body and just observe these sensations and hold this internal feeling or the physical sensations that are happening in your leg, in your chest, in your shoulders, in your stomach. What's there? Can I just describe it? Can you just put words on that without being judgmental, without being getting very restless or anxious about them? And it's very natural thing. If you have been through a lot of traumas, emotional traumas, or bad occasions, in bad situations in relationships or another situations that caused a lot of traumas and negative emotional loads inside your body, that's very difficult. But the only thing that we can do, the sole solution to resolve these emotions is to acknowledge them, and this way goes via our body. So the second step to be able to express our emotions is to embrace them, and is to try to listen to our body. So our body is a very, very important source of that we can use consciously to communicate with our minds, right? So it is like a bridge to reach our mind, our internal landscapes of mental activities. Number 3 is try to identify and label, put words, give name to these emotions. And this is also a very tricky and challenging one for many of us. Many of clients will find it a difficult assignment because we human beings have also a tendency to get confused or to mix feelings with thoughts and overuse thoughts in order to unconsciously reach out our feelings, right? So I have experienced a lot in clinical settings that people use thoughts as shortcuts, cognitive shortcuts, to reflect about their feelings without being able to feel them, without being able to distinguish them, put words on them, identify them. And that's a very common things that many people do. And that's why distinguishing between thoughts and feelings, they can be interconnected phenomena. They can be very have connection with others, but they are actually separate unit of mental activities. And so it's important to use descriptions instead of being, as I told you, critical or doing something to get rid of these feelings, because it reminds us of very unpleasant, for example, previous experiences or so on and so on. So to expand this capacity to be able to hold these emotions is one of the skills which is connected to these emotional expressions. Emotion expressions skill. So it's also very important to use words which does not load any value related or judgmental aspects of meanings. For example, we can say that, okay, I feel sadness, I feel frustration, and so on. So then, there are lots of practices of how doing that and how to practice, how get better in doing that, at describing and just navigating this feeling, and just help your body to feel itself acknowledged. Right? The body is doing good job, and you have to say to your body that, yes, you are doing good job, thank you, you are helping me, protecting me, and you are bearing these very important messages to the surface with a conscious mind of mine. And that's why it's important just to embrace and room and accommodate these feelings, and by just to observing them, describing them. Number 4 is to choose right time. So timing also is important factor here, right? Because our mind has actually a relational character, and we use these emotions to survive, to foster good connections, to increase the sense of belongings and connections, and to take care of our interpersonal relationships with others, with loved ones and or people. Like, it's about social skills, and that's why it's important to find the right time which we are in a good or calm state of mind. So if you are exhausted, feel sleepy, very tired, it's not a good time. But at the same time, we cannot postpone this important assignment when we want to express these emotions that we have felt today, to postpone it very much. Like, we can, okay, if you think that, okay, I will talk about this and share it, my emotional experience, or express my feelings the way I felt in 1 month or something, that's not good. So this is a very important assignment that you have to prioritize, and show yourself, stand up for yourself, and show body and nervous system that it's important for you, and you want to deal with it, right? So all these mini practices help your body, help your nervous system to not feel danger of bearing these emotions, of bringing these emotions forward and moving forward these emotions to you, because these conscious and unconscious mind have connections always together, and everything you do consciously will affect the way you deal with your unconscious. So number 5, the 5th step is to try to be an active listener. Again, we do these emotion expressions for not only for us, but also to implicitly, indirectly take care of a relational space. So we have to be ready that these emotions and expressions of our own emotions will create some emotional experiences in our partner. So we have also be ready to contain and to receive and listen to what the other people have in heart and body to say to us, right? So, and that's why we say that emotion expression is such an important skill, because it also protects others. It also protects the relationships, right? So you can actually, the only way to protect others goes via protecting ourselves. So, and that's why very important, because when we do that, we actually take care of our relationships and also the other person, because we also give courage to other person to express their emotions towards us. Okay, and then this honesty and this feeling in a space of safety in relationships boosts the quality of relationships, right? So when expressing these feelings, then we have to be honest and use I statements to decrease defensiveness, and also to improve the sense of connection and respect, right? I feel upset, instead of saying you made me upset, right? So there are like small mini techniques that are also important to consider. And the last one is about being compassionate. So self-compassionate and having compassion is also another thing. It's, per se is a very important skill to have, but it's like, to me, it's like embedded in this skill of expression emotions. So when we are in very negative self-talk mode, with ourselves, then we are not ready to express our emotions, because in that situations we will most probably express our emotions in a very negative or destructive way, and it will, harm our emotions, harm our relationships, and that's not good. That's destructive, because you have maybe seen that people act out their emotions and express their emotions in a negative way, right? By, for example, by naming, by name calling, by labeling others. For example, oh, you're a horrible person, I cannot stand you, right? Get to express in an exaggerated negative way, or by sarcasm, or by giving unnecessary or very negative disapproval to people. So those are the negative way of expressive emotions when we are in a little self-critical or bad or negative self-talk mode. So being self-compassion is very important, and look, you're doing a good job by expressing your emotions, because these, as I told you, contribute to boosting your relationships, to give a feeling of trust and safety to your partner. So, and that's why you deserve to be always, you deserve to be self-compassionate, because this compassion is a necessary element here to to foster a good connection and relationship. So I hope that you find these steps interesting and useful. So if you're missing something or you have any reflections about this, please leave a comment and keep in touch. Very glad to be here, and thank you again. We'll talk, we'll connect next time. Take care. Bye.